Steve, when did you find out about Steph, and just sort of what's your plan with him being out?
This morning, but he's been banged up the last week. His knees have been bothering him. So, this wasn't a surprise, but I talked to Rick this morning. He called me and made this recommendation, and I agreed with him. And hopefully this gives Steph the time he needs the next couple of days to get ready for our road trip. And so obviously everybody's got to step up and fill in, and we'll mix and match the lineups a little bit and see what we can do. I'm excited for the opportunity for a lot of our guys.
You think he will be ready for Saturday?
I do.
How much, I mean, like you said, it's kind of banged up in the moment, but how much of his minute totals really throughout the season and even looking forward is about kind of managing his body at his age?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's at 29. So the minute total's good, but at 36, you're just going to have more aches and pains. And fortunately, the MRI that he had yesterday was negative. But it's he needs some time to clear the tendonitis that's in his knees right now, and hopefully the next couple of days will do that.
He played 29 last game, less than he does in a close game. Was that because you were kind of monitoring the knee situation?
Partly that, and then partly the second quarter went really well. So normally we bring him back around the 8-minute mark, and that group was playing really well. We didn't bring Steph back till 5.5, I think. So we were able to buy him a few extra minutes.
And also, would it be Podziemski in the starting lineup, or
could be?
Could be. Yeah, it's one of your options there.
Plausible that I could go with Brandin. Yeah.
And do you know about the Kuminga? Has that been announced?
He should be ready to go. Yeah, we just went through our walk through, so I'm excited to get him back. We really missed him the last 2 games. The 4 games in 6 nights, no practice, a lot of travel stuff. You need all the youth and athleticism you can get in those situations. So it'll be great to have JK back tonight. We really missed him these last 2.
You guys won all 3 games that Steph missed earlier this year. What did you learn about the team in those games?
That we could lean into our depth. That we had guys who could fill in and play well together. And it was part of our strong start to the season, and part of what set the tone for kind of how we've played, and the strength of numbers, the idea that we can withstand absences, and so hopefully that continues tonight.
Steve, every time we've asked you about Trayce, you've always said it's all about pace and him running up and down the court. Beyond that, where have you seen growth in him from his rookie season to now, and where do you need him to get better going forward?
Yeah, I think he's getting better, just recognizing patterns, what's coming defensively. And then I think he's a little more confident offensively, catching the ball in traffic and finishing. And that's an important quality that he has for us.
Steve, I know Draymond's not on the injury report, but yesterday he didn't practice. Is that just more of a maintenance thing?
Yeah, but he'll play tonight.
Steve, a guy like Lindy Waters, who was in OKC when he started his career playing for the Enid Outlaws and was a tryout player. I'm sure you've come across guys with similar, trajectories. What do those types of stories do inside of a locker room, and how do they shape maybe how the team comes together? Yeah,
we've had a few guys who've followed a similar path. Juan Toscano-Anderson comes to mind, Damian Lee. I love guys who have had to scrap and claw to get here. There's just an obvious competitive desire. Otherwise, there's no way they would have made it. Lindy's an incredible story. He's a hell of a player. That's why he's starting for us. He's competitive. He's tough. He's smart. He's very skilled. He's a good passer, good playmaker. That's one of the reasons he's starting, to get another skilled passer in the lineup. So Lindy is. He's an amazing story, and we're lucky to have him.
They're the number 1 defense in the league. You obviously don't have Steph tonight. I guess with Kuminga likely playing, how much do you just kind of need his scoring.
Yeah, we need him against these guys. We need him against everybody. JK's played a really important role for us this year. I know he would prefer to start, but the way the team is built, what we're trying to do defensively, what we have done defensively to this point, it makes perfect sense for JK to come off the bench and be our scorer off the bench and provide us with that athleticism and power. So he's done a great job of that.
Smaller lineup obviously didn't start off well, but did you think that brought kind of the energy and maybe the speed that you were looking for?
Well, not really in the first quarter. We were awful in the first quarter. But I loved everything I saw in the last three quarters, the energy, the defense, the rotations. Guys were flying around. We had a lot of good individual contributions. So that's our team. That's who we are, and that's exciting for me to see the defensive excellence that I watched those last three quarters. And so tough loss, and obviously three in a row, but 82-game season, we're going to be just fine. We got a really good team.
What did you see happening there offensively? I mean, obviously you're held scoreless for a long period there. Just not the ball movement, or what was happening there?
Yeah, I didn't think we made great decisions down the stretch the last 5 minutes. And it's a little tough. Obviously, it's kind of pick and roll time late in the game. And, with Steph out, it makes it a little trickier on our team. So we tried to execute a few things. We got a few good looks. And I think in the paint for the game, we were 19 for 46. So we had some shots, but just didn't convert in the paint. So it happens. But like I said, I love the effort, love the energy, and give them credit. They play great defense down the stretch.
Tim mentioned the small lineup. How much of that is just matchup related or Steph not being there, and how much could you possibly look at, maybe starting Kuminga and going smaller? And
Steph not being there definitely influences things for us. Pairing Draymond and Trayce without Steph, without a pick and roll player, makes things really tricky offensively. So that's why I did it. And JK came in and did a great job, after that first run where he was a little rusty. But we definitely will play that smaller lineup with JK at the 4, Draymond at the 5, plenty coming up. But my gut would be to keep starting the way we've been starting with Trayce and Draymond.
When you're down 2 points with 8 seconds left, could you take us through the process of not only what play you want to get to, but the decision to go for 2 versus 3 to win it in regulation?
Yeah, so we practice this stuff quite a bit. Kyle's a great inbounds passer, so we wanted Kyle in the game, and we ran a play that we've been practicing a little bit, and they guarded it really well. The opening wasn't there, but I thought Draymond made a great play on catch, hitting Wiggs, on the back door. Wiggs just was a little off balance, but Draymond made a hell of a play. Wiggs made a really good cut, just didn't convert.
What did you make of Pat's minutes?
Fantastic. You love to see a guy just come in and play with great force and energy and push the ball and find shooters. He just plays the game, and I thought Pat changed the game. As soon as he got out there, the game finally opened up for us, and we started to move the ball.
Steve, to kind of piggyback off of that, with Steph out, did you know that Pat was going to have this big of opportunity tonight?
We weren't sure, but we knew that off the bench we really lacked a point guard. Kyle's a point forward, and he handled the ball for us. And but when we were struggling in that that first quarter, it was an easy choice for me to go to Pat.
I mean, these are probably the biggest minutes he's ever gotten in the NBA. Mm-hmm. What does he show you on a daily basis at practice that earns the trust from you?
The guy's a gamer. I mean, he's one of the greatest lacrosse players of all time. So he's a competitor. He's an athlete. He has worked his tail off to get to this point. Incredible teammate, and he's a damn good player. I mean, he shoots it well, he passes it well, and you see the movement and the flow when he's on the floor.
You guys get a couple of buckets in that 5-minute stretch there where you got nothing. Obviously, without Steph, you don't have your quote-unquote closer. But what do you look at as in terms of your best potential options to get a bucket of some kind?
We were going to JK and Wiggs for the most part, trying to get them downhill and pick and roll, and they were switching everything, and they did a good job. We both guys got to the rim a couple times. We didn't quite convert, but give Oklahoma City credit. I thought their defense was really stout. The last 5-6 minutes. Thank you.